This is TVA by Gemma, a podcast about real human issues brought to you by Dark Cozy Dark
I watched the first couple episodes of that Invincible show related to
That's
that.
good. I didn't even know that show was coming.
Yeah.
And I'm not familiar with the comic, but the show's a lot of fun.
It's been fun. I thought that because he goes and gets like, I'll be in Naples, I'll be back. He goes and gets pizza and stuff and comes home and that.
That's what you would do. That's what I want to see in these things. Like Superman, he would just go and get some
whatever, any food ever and come back. It's like, it'll take me 5 minutes.
He used to do that in Lois and Clark. It's like, where do you keep getting this great Chinese food? It's like, no place. Like, why is it ice cold?
Yeah.
Why is this rice frozen solid?
It sounds like smoke. Like, what is this thing?
Oh, Lord.
He can just reheat it though. Like
that's what he does before he comes in.
It's kind of refreshing watching that Invincible's cartoon because it's like saying things and kind of dealing with the same drama of the premise, but they can just be goofy. Like they're playing catch with a ball that goes around the world. It's like
that's fully irresponsible.
Like, yeah. But it's like, yeah, it's fun. Who cares?
It's fun, and it's one of those where you can see it's all the analogs of, like, that's where you realize that DC is sort of the classical template for superhero stories, because whenever they do these sort of analogs, it's always the DC universe that they use. Like the characters they have. This Detective Demon is one of them, where he's like a demon who keeps his soul out of hell by solving mysteries. But he's dressed in like a demon jumpsuit, but then he has like a gumshoe coat and hat. I love it. Aww. That's a Jack Kirby character if ever I've seen one. Detective.
But he's like Hellboy though too. It's basically the same sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I think Hellboy probably is
well, that's what's so fun about that as
Jack
a
Kirby kind of characters.
Writing exercise. Seeing that happen in this show, it kind of gets you like. It's also I read those books with Brandon, the guy who took over for Wheel of Time you mentioned earlier, Linda, Brandon Sanderson. He has those superhero, like his 3 young YA superhero novels, and he has all these superheroes with different powers. Like that would be fun to figure out your own, like as a writing kind of thing, like figure out your own pantheon of like superheroes, and they're like, because it's like it's really math. You're like, so I guess we have to have a fast thing, but how do you do that without being so derivative of? They don't care in this show. It's like he's
everything's derivative. Like at this point, it's not about not being derivative. It's about just what you do with it.
It's like, how do you do that? Anymore. Yeah, because they always have like, well, there's a Superman character, and I guess this is before The Boys. I don't know when that comic came out, but they have a sort of similar dynamic, the Homelander-y kind of thing with the superhero.
The comic of The Boys is very different to the TV show, though.
Yeah, I like the thing in Invincible that I think is fun is that the hook of the story is that the Superman, he's like from another planet, just like Superman is, but the hook of the story, it looks like, is that when they come to this planet, they are invaders. Like they set themselves up as the champion of a planet, and then that's like stage 1, right? And then I guess the next stage is just global domination.
Then it's lizard people. All lizard people.
But he has kids who it's not like that, so it's like, wait a second, hold on, this is weird. You haven't got into the 4th episode yet, but like it's been cool. And it's like one of those shows you watch it and they're like at the beginning it's like TVMA and there's like extreme violence. Like what? And you watch the whole episode and you're like, no. And then it gets to the end, you're like, holy moly. It's like the most violent scene I've seen in a cartoon before. I was like, wow, okay. That makes sense.
I did enjoy that about the Harley Quinn.
I haven't watched that yet. I need to watch that show.
Oh, it's so good.
It's
on HBO Max, right?
Yes, it's awesome. There better be another season of that.
How many are there? 2 seasons of it?
So far.
I think there's 2. I think I've only watched the first one.
Seasons. But they're both good.
But it's violence and just sort of showing where she sits in the bad guy thing and making a bit of fun of the whole bad guy shtick and everything like that. But just as a character, she's fun.
Because the heroes, if you see it specifically like this is the world as Harley Quinn sees it, it makes even more sense because all the heroes are kind of like dumb parodies of themselves in a weird way. Yeah. Right. But not so weird that you would that it seems unrealistic. You're like, yeah, because Batman is kind of dumb that way. But it comes out so much better, and it's so cleverly written. They should get those guys writing.
And it's just very funny. Like the writing and everything's funny. Just like the back and forth between the characters, and
it's really good. Yeah,
it's lighthearted and just like when with all this like Snyder stuff and the darkness and everything, which is great for where it is, to have this like light bubbly, it's Harley.
Yeah, I need to watch it. That's why I like that. That's why I guess why I like that Invincibles thing. I should watch that too. Invincibles, when you have Jason Mantzoukas play one of the characters.
Yeah, Jason Mantzoukas so much.
He's in.
They got a lot of
he's
good
one of the
voice
superheroes in there.
Like,
if you watch the Invincibles, because it's on Amazon, if you're on your computer, you can see like the X-ray thing and shit. Like the whole cast is like stars. Like John Hamm plays a security guard. That's how many people they have in this cast. John Hamm is like, yeah, I'm gonna play security guard. Everybody else is just like,
yeah. Walton Goggins is one of the. I guess he's the main secret agent guy.
Yeah. But what's his? Yeah.
Zachary Quinto is the robot.
Mantzoukas, Allison.
Him again. Where's he been? Zachary Quinto.
I don't know. What else? He did
that
Nosferatu show.
Nosferatu show, yeah.
And that was watchable, but no, it was. I mean, it's called Nosferatu, and he is It's interesting because it's Joe Hill, Stephen King's son, and it's interesting to see like some of the similarities between his writing style and Stephen King's style.
With big tongues come out, right?
less coke in his writing style, or
less coke, more booze, probably. Because it's funny how many of the tropes
the main
are there.
The
main characters are artistic and
alcoholic.
Stuff. Yeah,
Lock and Key is the same thing. The mom's alcoholic and the kids are.
So it's weird how some of those same tropes apply to his work too. I would say you could watch that show. It's okay, but it's not a good character piece. The characters annoy the shit out of you on that show. But the weird mythology that he creates for the vampires and how they work and all that stuff is pretty interesting. There's a little too much explanation by people of the things, but there is some stuff that's legit creepy just because it's like, what a weird world. Like,
that's fun for a lot of things. At least to watch that sometimes.
It's definitely watchable for that. There's some fun ideas.
Too many things to watch.
Yeah, like it's hard. You may not get around to it because there's so many other good shows to watch.
There's so many classics. I just read Conan for the first time the other day.
Oh, the Barbarian?
Oh yeah, with the original, with the Arnie commentary. Because Arnie's commentary is amazing. She's like, look,
I need to watch that. That's awesome. I need to watch it with.
It's amazing with his commentary. Him and the director, I think, and you learn so many interesting things about it. But they love it so much, and it's such a good movie. Like you're just watching, really this is good. Like all these practical effects and everything, and it holds up really well.
That's my favorite movie when I was like 10 years old.
And it does so much with show don't tell. Like there's so many scenes where it's like, and the director's pointing it out in the commentary, and he's hilarious. He's like, in this shot, he's looking at the dogs, and the next shot, he's wearing them. And it's just they don't show that. They don't tell all this big thing. We just watch it go past.
I like that stuff. That's why I watch it. They need to have a better outlet for commentaries nowadays that they don't have DVDs and Blu-rays because every now and then they're on things. Yeah. I listen to them all day long. I love them.
Yeah.
Doesn't Disney Plus have bonus features?
Sometimes, but it's just not. They don't have a consistent standard for this. This is an issue, I think.
Yeah, that is the problem.
That's why I miss DVDs. Back in the day.
I don't think if you're telling me they have
like 6 commentaries.
Because I know all those Marvel movies have commentaries on the DVDs that they don't on there. I don't think. Look.
Yeah, I would buy DVDs just to get the commentaries. I love them.
Yeah, I've listened to all 8 ones on each extended Lord of the Rings.
Yes, I love those.
They're great.
Yeah,
maybe they have that
on while you're sleeping or whatever. But just like to listen to all of the different.
They do have the commentary on Endgame in here. Shit. What I'm doing? Hold on, let me check all these.
Wait, something important's come up. Cancel the podcast. We have
3 hours. Yeah. Watch along, like 3 hours of us just watching a commentary from someone else.
And the only one I've listened to of Marvel movies is when I rented Avengers and back in a Redbox when it came out just to listen. They don't have that one. We've canceled Joss Whedon, I guess, so we don't have that one. But I don't know.
Love the Top Gear commentaries, which is bizarre. I love Top Gear, but back when Top Gear was Jeremy and James and Richard, and the commentary was by was by the director and the sound guy and who was filming, not the actual, not Jeremy and James as you would think it should be. It was just the sound guy and some producer, and which made it so much more funny because they were just commenting on the whole. Oh yeah, these guys.
Yeah, usually, I mean, I listened to all of them before. Usually, the actors ones are less interesting because you're like, I don't know. Yeah. Lord of the Rings are good because they're well, that's when you learn the things like how him breaking his foot and stuff when he kicks it.
Yeah, but Lord of the Rings has interesting actors in it.
That does make the difference, yeah.
Apparently, it only looks like Infinity War and Endgame have them so far, but that's worth watching.
They want you to buy the Blu-rays, I guess.
I want one TikTok video I watched. It showed me watching it with my wife, Lord of the Rings, a girlfriend. She told me to shut up and I can't say any more things. And it shows that scene where he kicks it. He's like, it's just like the moment where did you know that she told him to shut up about stuff. He's like,
that was with his Conan. I'm like, no, you have to watch this bit. Yeah. No, stop playing. Listen to this bit. This is funny.
I think the three of us understand that more because we're the types hey, did you know that actually they're when they shot this, it was actually nighttime and I was like, yeah, nobody cares. Usually,
yeah.
Shut up! I didn't hear what he said. I was like, never mind.
I'm going to show Red the Hobbit movies as well because he's watched Lord of the Rings, but not the Hobbit, and I'm like,
we started watching. We didn't get thing in the Hobbit.
Watch them, but it's a whole thing. They're not.
Yeah, I didn't watch.
You should probably watch them.
I mean, it's sort of like listening to the Rise.
Going in that it's not the Lord of the Rings.
It's like listening to the Rise of Skywalker commentary. It's like, do I really want to do that? Is it worth listening to
I
this?
Don't think my blood would boil to hear the reasons that you supply.
Interested, but we started watching and then we didn't finish. It was like a school night because I found it. Found it legally. I can send you guys the link. Is the Return of the King, Rankin Bass, because the Hobbit version I've always loved, the Rankin Bass Hobbit. They made a Return of the King.
I actually have the DVD of that, of the
Have you ever
Hobbit
watched
and
it?
Return of the King.
Wild, because they spend we're gonna wrap. There's let's just sum up Lord of the Rings, all the other books in about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna get to some other stuff happening. I was like, okay, let's just cut to Shelob's lair. That's basically what they do.
The ambitious element was let's take the Return of the King and try to present it as a sequel to The Hobbit.
Yeah, and it's just
as a 2-piece set.
And they kind of hand wave everything else, and they just cut to literally Shelob's right after. They don't even show that part. I don't think. I think it's
because Return of the King was all they could do. Bakshi had already they had done the first 2 books, at least part of the second book. In his
why
movie.
They did that one. That's funny.
So the Return of the King was the only thing left. So you could, when I was a kid, the trilogy was you would watch The Hobbit, you would watch Bakshi's Lord of the Rings, and then the Return of the King would wrap the story for you.
So stone, and then it would come up and then come down.
It's kind of weird in the middle.
You have to come
heavy
down.
metal in the middle.
I haven't watched the rest of them. They have songs, and that's what's there's a new Return of the King songs. They got, but some of them not their credit. They're the same music from The Hobbit. They're just new words and some. It's wait a second.
But I actually have the Bakshi Blu-ray.
I don't think I've watched that in recent times. I need to actually.
You told me prepared earlier.
I could watch this. This is such a good movie. I could watch it as its own thing.
The rotoscope parts are weird as hell.
We just watched Heavy Metal yesterday, I think, just because it was on Stars or something. It was funny. It's there's no telling who this movie is intended for. This movie is an artifact of its time, and the Lord of the Rings is kind of that way too. Most Bakshi didn't do heavy metal, but there was a similarity in the way this wave of people trying to do adult animated films.
Well, that's what that's the same. It'll be the Snyder Cut in 10, 20 years. You're who is this for? Is this a kid movie? Like, no, the kids.
That's what makes it fun. It's an artifact of its time.
Yeah, it's
why does this exist?
Why are there 12 F-bombs in this, and why is it it's I don't know, man.
Yeah, who's this for?
Don't ask questions, just watch it.
It says it's Zack Snyder's. It's for Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
I said it quite clearly. It's Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah, which is fine.
You all can watch whatever you want to watch.
I like that though. It really does say, well, this is who it's for. He liked it. He did it. It's his version, which means next time we can come along and we do someone else's Justice League.
Well, I enjoyed it. I do think I did like his version of the movie as its own thing. It's enjoyable. It's entertaining as its own thing. but I also like the fact as just a weird sort of exercise to get to see somebody take something and rework it as their own. Even though it's not his original vision either, it's a completely new thing.
Right.
So you don't get to see that very often. So it's fun for those two things. I think it's vindicating in the sense that it's definitely a better movie. There isn't anybody saying it's fine, but I do prefer the theatrical cut. Like, I haven't heard it. In the world of hot takes, no one has stepped forward to carry that banner.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's fun.
Anyway,
we've talked fun. As much as we can about the Snyder Cut.
Well, speaking of HBO Max, we should talk about that then. The latest release from HBO Max
is
it's the Titans. If you thought BVS was something, Batman v Superman,
dude, we actually
Alan v Pharaoh. There's like a whole thing on HBO Max.
And now Godzilla v Kong.
It's a legal trilogy because they're V. It says verses in that movie. There,
I like them. Those are like the matinee match. Alan v Pharaoh.
That's why
and Godzilla v Kong. Who will get the children?
Again, let's not get back into BVS, but it's weird how that is V because like they're not. This isn't a court case. What do you? Okay.
I think it's good. They say versus in Godzilla versus.
They say versus. I'm talking Batman v Superman.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, in Batman v
we all know
Superman.
That Batman's going to get the kids because he's got more expensive lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a billionaire. Hello.
He's rich.
You live in a ice cave in the Arctic. So no, it's not appropriate. But we loved Godzilla vs. Kong though.
It was very enjoyable.
Ultimate. Yeah, it's everything you should want from these movies. Because I love Skull Island. That was a good Kong movie. I've liked both of these Godzilla movies.
I think Skull Island's my favorite still because it's a little more fun. But this is fine. It was good.
Skull Island did have a lot of fun with a lot of the ideas.
Yeah.
A lot of the cliches of this sort of genre.
Yeah.
They had a lot more fun with it.
Like Hollow Earth stuff. Like,
I like
if I were writing this movie, or if I just felt like if someone said, "Sean, we got to take half an hour off the movie," it's like, all right, the B plot of these 3 characters going to Apex just because they're recognizable actors.
But that's how I feel almost about all the human stories in these movies. Like, we really don't need this. It's like just cut just a little paragraph and go, well, they're taking Kong somewhere. Cool. That's all the setup I need for this now. It's
I watched a review of it that was like, yeah, that B plot with the kids does drag a bit, but it's necessary and it pays off at the end. And I'm like, it doesn't.
No.
They could have cut that completely and it wouldn't.
It pays off because they wanted to have John McLaughlin.
You could cut somewhere and go, how'd this happen? Like, we built a robot Godzilla. Like, all right, carry on. Like, you don't need that build up.
I mean, because you're going to see the reveal scene where the guy's talking. With the one funny scene where the guy's just talking and the Mecha Godzilla like wakes up behind him and looks. That's funny. I like that scene.
Like if they brought it to life by revealing it, it'd be different, right? I guess. Well, they made it shut down, right? Is that what happened? Did they make it?
They made it temporarily shut down for a second so that Godzilla could get a second wind or something like that. But they didn't actually materially.
Yeah. But you could have cut that, and we wouldn't any of you noticed.
I like Godzilla's point and all this. He's like, dude, I'm just trying to get this thing. Everybody's like, he's like, such like falsely accused this whole movie. He's like, I'm telling you, man, there's something weird. They got some weird kind of robot. I'm trying to get at it. And then Kong's like,
someone did a meme with Godzilla over Kong, like those images that Kong's like, but we've got to save Mothra.
Yeah.
He's like, why did you say that name? It's like, that's funny.
That's good.
And I like how Kong just wants to swing around and, be left alone. I quite like that they did a lot of that like non-verbal stuff with Godzilla and Kong. Like at the end, it's like, all right.
Did they ever have at the end? I don't remember this. Because I think I was probably fading. I was like, I might have just turned it off. Like, I didn't turn. I watched it all, but it's like these movies like just totally leave my mind as far as plot. Like I don't remember moment. I remember the cool moments of them fighting. I'll probably tell you blow for blow what happened, but then I'm like, I don't remember. Do they ever show other family like Kong family at all?
I think he's
think
the
it's like
last one.
super sad
They
because
show
they go
the,
there.
they show the place and the
He
hands.
sits on the throne and
Way
stuff.
home. But
Yeah,
then Godzilla
he seemed to be happy with that.
Godzilla's like, "Fuck you."
What? Yeah.
Because to me, I'm like,
someone
I'm coming
activated
down
the
there.
lizard circle. Like, what?
to me, I'm like, you gotta be thinking about franchises here. Like Son of Kong, you have like a little baby. Like they need to like bring in
But
the
they didn't
love
say,
interest right at the end of this.
They didn't show anything else. They just showed the place and they showed that this is his home.
But
they didn't show that they explored any. They've got a whole inside Earth now to explore. So
now they can bring that in because like we found
it's
just like How to Train Your Dragon 3 or whatever. They're like, we found a female.
Yeah.
It's like,
and that's where we bring in Gamera finally.
Yeah.
Why is Gamera left out of all this?
No, she's not another great ape, Kong.
Gamera is
the only female you got. So yeah. I think it's fun.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought it was great fun. And I love how Kong, they take advantage of him just sort of having human characteristics, like the opening. You could just play Smash Mouth on that opening scene because it's like all Shrek where he just wakes up and he's showering and stuff.
I was like, he's showering in the waterfall. I was like, what is this?
Scratching his butt. You're like, he is Shrek. He's making him Shrek. And then when the aircraft carrier blows up and he kind of does one of those jump in front of the fireball, it's like he's the Rock or something. I love this.
They kind of like defuse any of that stuff because he's obviously like the protect. Like even that girl being out by herself, like miles away, right at the beginning, it's like it kind of diffuses any like care for her safety later. It's like she's fine. What do you mean? What can you put her in? Like she's fine.
I love that they take the little girl along everywhere with them, and they sort of almost justify it by saying that she can talk to him.
But they only find that out later.
But that he understands, and then they find out that he actually does understand sign language. He refuses to talk to anyone else, but really they could talk to him if they. But it's weird
because he was doing sign language. It's like you never noticed that before. Like it's pretty
aren't
big
you a scientist?
It's not like he was blinking or something to respond to her.
They didn't have their own language. He's like 100-foot monkey.
He's in an enclosure.
American sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got like cameras everywhere. Well, then, like even at the end when they go, when they take him into the Earth, the little girl's there again. She's like, "No, it's cool. I'll live here now."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'll roll with it.
They're really effective in making these like stations. I'm just impressed with that station. I thought, man, this is pretty impressive. This whole enclosure they have on. It's like they make an enclosure on Skull Island. It's like it's an island. Where's he going? Why do you need to make an enclosure on Skull Island? And it's even
not on Skull Island.
It said on Skull Island. I thought
they said something about the.
At the beginning, it was a
storm.
There's a storm
killing off all the natives or something.
Yeah, I didn't get that part. I didn't know what that was about.
Like, I was just kind of weird to just like everything that you liked about Skull Island. Just we've destroyed that. Don't worry about it.
Well, and they've thrown out all the stuff about the King of Monsters stuff, like all the Godzilla stuff too, or the King Kong or Godzilla stuff. Remember, like there's some stuff of that they've thrown away too. You're like, I don't even understand the mythology of these.
Well, they kind of used it a bit. They were a bit like, this is why Godzilla's going to try and kill him because he's like.
Well, that's the main premise. I get that, but like this is like watching the X-Men movie. I was like, I don't know where we are here. It's like a different time period, and some of these characters are the same, and I don't know. I
think it's fine.
Yeah,
we just want to watch them fight.
Yeah, that's why.
I like the little girl character. I liked him having sign language and that sort of thing. I thought that worked fine.
Yeah,
I like her. Fun. I like the actors. The main actors. They always get good actors.
Yeah.
I don't know why the Friday Night Lights guy is just in the movie. Like
it had to be in his contract.
Like where they just
had to be.
Put him in a green screen room on a phone going, what?
And then
what
at the end he hugs her and then he's like, it had to be in his contract that he's in a couple of these movies, and they just like, all right, well, here you are. You need to be in more than
you're not going to be in this.
Yeah, these actors know what they're doing. These types of movies. I mean, these aren't even like Marvel movies, or they're just like, yeah, this is just.
I'm not sure. He's not sweating it. He gets a paycheck.
Fine. I mean, he probably got $1 million or something to be part of the movie. He's like, it's fine. It's fine. But even like with Millie Bobby, because that kid is the kid from the Wilder People movie.
I love that kid. I
guess, but
he's from Deadpool.
Well, he was in Deadpool also, but he was in the Hunt for the Wilder People before that.
Taika's movie, YTD.
And he was also in Christmas Chronicles Part 2 as the naughty elf.
But yeah, he was fun. But he's like plays a straight man, which is fun to see him. Like he's not even like what his normal. He's usually the comic relief, and he was like, "Oh, brother," like he's like Charlie Brown in this thing. Those are some fun parts because what's his name from
Brian
Atlanta?
Tyler Henry, is that his name?
Yeah, from Atlanta. He's
really
some
good.
Of that stuff like that.
I hate that character.
None of the stuff has to. Yeah, it's all just over. Like,
yeah.
Well,
sometimes when people
just
like
as a personal thing, can I say that it's probably time that we retire the conspiracy nut character who turns out to be right in movies? It's like I think we need to put that character away. Okay,
he made so little sense. Like because he actually works for the place, and he openly says in his podcast, "I work at this place." Like, no way they haven't found out who you are by now.
No,
it's like did you see their security? He was just walking through the place.
It's almost like being part of an administration and saying things are rigged.
Well,
you're in power. You're in power. How can it be rigged?
At my job, I can't plug a thumb drive into my computer and use it.
Well, if you go down there and give the guy a banana,
he walks into one of these super secret computers, downloads their entire mainframe onto a jump drive. It's like, why is that even?
But like, he doesn't download anything. Like there's this whole thing with him downloading a thing and nothing useful happens from that.
Yeah, they never.
The only payoff is that he thinks that somebody posted something somewhere. And it's like, you could have found that if you were just like the postal guy. He didn't need to be an engineer.
The only thing that paid off was you being a recovering alcoholic. So
what's funny about that thing too, I like some of their comedy bits.
Should usually be they should make that character a janitor because nobody suspects the janitor.
I like when they're doing like some of the comedy bits and that, but it's like showing also the pod, like when they do characters like that, or it's like a gamer character, any of those characters, it feels like just like a 50-year-old exec going, yeah, it's like he's like a podcast, like you guys don't even know who real people are. Because then you listen, that podcast is funny. I was like, the only joy of that moment is like she has my podcast player. That's the one I use, like Pocket Cast, where they're using. I was like, that's the one, but I was like, it's like having stand-up comedy movie. The bad part is like it's got to be actually good if you're going to do it. And the podcast, like this sounds like the most boring podcast in the world. She listens to like 10 minutes of it before she meets him. We're like, why are you re-listening to this? He doesn't know anything, and he just says.
And then she's all like, we can help each other, but you're thinking, okay, because of her position as what she knows, because of what happened in the first movie, she's going to know stuff. But no, she just comes on and goes, let's break in, and then. That's it. That's the only agency they have.
Like, how can she break him in? Like, what's she gonna? Yeah, it's like nothing.
Yeah, like she doesn't add anything. You think that maybe like a teenage girl would not be the best one to take with you.
It's a dumb movie. Like it's a dumb movie for those things. The human stuff doesn't matter at all.
I think that particular B plot.
The A plot is about them going to Hollow Earth as well. So it's like nobody cares.
Yeah, but at least that looks cool.
I guess, yeah.
My favorite thing is that they first have Kong on a boat, even though they know that Godzilla's in the ocean, and they're like, I hope Godzilla doesn't come. And then Godzilla does come and he wrecks everything. And they're like, all right, I have an alternate idea. And then they just got to helicopters drag Kong in it, and it's fine.
Like, why didn't they just do that before?
I know this one that seemed risky as a plan A, too. I get it. Like, if I had just said this before that.
I love when they get there, too, and they drop him, and they're like, you have to make him go in the hole. And he's like, I don't want to go in the hole. And they're like, if he doesn't go in the hole, he's going to die. We can't take him out.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, for real. This is
the best.
Just tell him that.
Yeah, the best story moments when they're treating him like the Hulk, basically. It's like, no, he's like, but Big Mom. He's like, no, that way. He's like, no, go that. Like, I like that little bit of play with him because then they're like, all right, now follow him. Sure. Okay.
I appreciated that they didn't lie to him about that. Like she said, maybe there's family in the hole. We don't know. Because usually in this sort of story, they would manipulate the little kid into saying, you definitely have to go in there because your family there. And then they made a point not to do that.
Well, they made a point of like, of threatening it because you're like, well, I can't tell him that. And then she says, okay, I guess I will tell him that. And then what she tells her is just like, tell him we don't know. I was like, well, that's the solution. Why are we making a big deal of this?
Exactly.
Yeah, because usually what we do is we get down there and then he wouldn't find his family and then there'd be this big, oh, I can't trust you anymore. And none of that happened. I was like, oh, good.
Well, they did like that's the kind of thing that writers don't want to take. Like, that's the secret of no drama in your life is transparency. Sometimes, like, I don't know, man, really. They're like,
they would just communicate. But that's so many of these movies. If you would just communicate.
We think it's in your best interest to go down there. We really don't have to manipulate you.
Yeah.
Well, your family could be down there. We don't know.
He's like, okay, sure.
Our best guess is if you do have family, it's down that hole.
That was a goofy conceptualization though, because it's like they kind of get around any kind of physical things of Hollow Earth. Meaning it's like another dimension, sort of. because they have to go through
but
sort
the idea
of like
that
a portal.
The idea that they needed Kong at all to go down there, they were just like, he's going to lead us to the energy source.
Tunnel. Yeah, it's like there's nothing. There's a straight tunnel.
You can't track the energy source on your radar if you know it's down there because you can sense it in your equipment from the up top. You must be able to have a sensor that will tell you where it is when you're down there.
Because you drilled that hole. Yeah, when you got down there.
And you saw the creepy white
glowing rocks.
Portal like, just go through it.
You really didn't need him for any of that.
Yeah.
I mean, they couldn't have opened the door, but they probably could have blasted it.
That's kind of
and they get down there, and she just takes a tiny sample of it, and the sample, like the computer reads the sample and sends it up there, and that's all they needed. They didn't actually need bits of it. They just needed the chemical signature, and then they could replicate it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh my god, this woman turned out to be a baddie."
But they know that that's what they're down there for because it's stated, like, we need to go down there to get this power source. Like, okay. And then we're like, okay, there it is. I'm going to grab a sample. They're like, what are you doing? It's like, what do you mean? We spent $1 billion to come here and get that sample. Like, I explained this to you before we left. Like,
I love that sequence because every single one of her and her people gets killed.
Right.
I just like how casually he just like, and that's it. Yeah. I love Kong in this. Kong is awesome.
Yeah, this movie is fun in that sense because they're like it feels like you should always do this, I guess, because like it feels like we're never gonna make one of these movies again. So we need to put Hollow Earth in, we need to put Mecha Godzilla, we need to put it's a fun idea. It's like okay, cool.
Like Toho's taking Godzilla back, so there are no more Godzilla movies.
Oh, really?
The American
this is the last one then?
I believe so.
Okay.
But then so you could still have Mecha King Kong in another movie. We haven't done Robo Kong yet.
I love how they're like, it's Robo Godzilla. No, it's Mecha Godzilla.
Dude, does Toho ever use King Kong in their movies?
Yeah. And the two, because in the 70s, Toho and Rankin Bass teamed up. And they made
Bringing it back.
The Greatest Adventure.
The Monkey Adventure. Like note for note. But they made 2 movies. One was King Kong Escapes, which was King Kong versus the Mecha King Kong. And the other one was King Kong versus Godzilla, the first one. And so they made those 2 movies where they had just a guy in a monkey suit as King Kong versus the rubber suit Godzilla. Those are fun. I love both of those movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet
those are on HBO Max. Most of the Godzilla movies and the King Kong movies and stuff are
the only thing I think about seeing these movies now, maybe we've seen so many of them and I'm I enjoyed it. But there's just like so much money, some of the money spent like those plots of things like this is just not necessary. I don't know if this was all like we could have just done a cool thing about them discovering some Hollow Earth and then like there's just so much things happening that it's like this is like you guys are even trying too hard. This is like not
there was one criticism I heard that was valid that was like it was all really cool, but you had a place where there was zero gravity and you didn't get Kong and Godzilla to fight there.
Oh, yeah. That's a missed opportunity. Yeah. Well, the thing is, this is a lesson learned from Pacific Rim because the biggest problem with Pacific Rim is the end of the movie when they fight the giantest of all the kaijus, it dwarfs all the kaijus we've ever seen. They're fighting him at the bottom of the ocean where there is no scale to anything. So we don't get any sense that this is any bigger than any other thing that they fought in the movie. They were smart. The final battle between Kong and Godzilla happens like in Hong Kong, so there's all that beautiful lighting, but it's a city setting. If they go in some weird space and they're floating around, then we lose the scale of
Well, that doesn't need to be the final battle. That could have been like if Godzilla had just come down to try and get Kong and Kong had come up to meet him, rather than just Kong going, okay, I'll go back up there then.
You just
they could have had a minor battle down there.
Just like
it could have been a minor battle down there, and then they could have gone back up to get Mechagodzilla.
Well, but what Pacific Rim does pretty
well.
Or
a movie for you. You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. Like when I say they did all this other stuff necessary, like the one thing Pacific Rim does, like it's just basically centered around wherever they are, Hong Kong, or I don't know, it's Australia and that Sydney or something. Like they kind of keep it. Wherever they don't know, they go off there, but whatever the city is, it's like they have a couple attacks there, but then the attack comes again there. You know what I mean? They're just like, and I feel like with a Godzilla, I don't know, maybe usually, I mean, this isn't the same thing as a normal Godzilla movie. it feels like the base premise is that we're being attacked. Like this is a city. Like in this, you don't feel a sense of place at all because you're like, whatever. It's boats. Who gives a shit? Like it's more like there's that collateral damage is always the thing that's like, oh God, like it's attacking the city. Like it's a big deal.
But I love that after like 2 hours of movie, you still have people going, "Oh no, it's Godzilla!" It's like you've been evacuated hours ago. Why are you still like in your office going?
I think after the last year, I think I said to Megan, after this last year, we had just had this. This doesn't feel unrealistic. Like the people who, with all the warning in the world, took no precautions for the most obvious thing.
They're like,
no, that
giant monster coming, but I need my latte.
Yeah. You don't tell me what to do. Taking my freedom away.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was good. It was fun though.
Enjoyed it.
I'm loving this. It's a shame we're gonna lose those. I'm loving this movies at home thing on HBO Max.
I know. I'm looking forward to like hopefully I'll be able to go to the theater to see the Suicide Squad.
But it's cool that you can see it in the theater and come home and watch it again.
You can watch it again on HBO.
Like it'd be kind of cool. I was like, I want to watch that again. Like,
yeah, I get my second shot in a week, and then that's it. I'm bulletproof. I'm licking everything.
Vaccines.
I kind of want to go see.
The Australian government is fucked up.
Yeah, I have both of them in mind now. I'm kind of wanting to go see that Bob Odenkirk movie this weekend. I might actually go for the first time because I'm like,
I wish it was on HBO or something because I would
not.
like to see it. I know it's in theaters only, right?
I was like, I haven't been to the theater in a year, and I was like, maybe I should go like on Sunday afternoon by myself. Like, because I was like, I want to go see. That could be a fun one. It's the first time I've seen. They had Tenet in the theater for like 9 months. When I saw that, it's like,
and still nobody saw it.
I would have been pissed if I actually saw that in the theater. It'd been another Interstellar situation. Like, I actually like that movie better at home.
To see it, I'm curious.
I liked Interstellar.
Well, and did you watch Tenet?
Interstellar's okay. I think Tenet, I don't think I will like.
Tenet, I actually like better. Tenet's one of those weird ones with his. It's like I watched it, and then you watch like New Rockstar. He's like, oh, I think I actually like this better, but it doesn't work. It's like Snyder Cut. It's like it sort of works with a lot of caveats, which is like it doesn't work in any traditional setting. But this is the same way. I was like, I think I liked it more the more I kind of got into like, oh, okay, maybe that's what was. Oh, cool. I was like, do you want to watch it again? I was like, not really. It's like I think I appreciate the headcanon story a little more. Like
that's what I feel like. I feel like you cooked a dish and I took a bite like. And like, well, let me tell you what I was working on there. Like, this infusion of different like herbs and flavors. Like, that is interesting. So, do you want to try some more? Like, no, I didn't like it. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah,
the end result was me wanting to eat it. That was the goal. Right. So no. I don't even know what went in the soup if I don't like the soup.
It's sort of the same thing. I think Christopher Nolan's transforming into a robot. Eventually, he just is losing. Like this one is fun for certain reasons, but it's like even more lacking any human emotion. I was like, the character's name is Protagonist.
He seems to be doubling down in open animosity towards the audience. I don't know why.
But you know what?
It feels like
he's going to be called Protagonist. He's not even called that because he's referenced to that. So he's like, oh, so I'm like the protagonist of this story, and that's the reference. There's no other mention of his characters. Like people don't have names in this movie. It's like, what do you? So yeah, we're stripping away all those traditional commercial ideas. Of what you think
it's devoid of stakes. That's what we're doing.
It's like
no relatability, and there's no actual human drama.
It can work.
There's a lot of explanation of how time gets reversed for certain reasons at certain times.
I love naming characters because then everybody always does that dialogue where they're like, "Hello, Robert, my brother." Who I haven't seen for 5 years.
Or you can say,
welcome to my house.
Some call me Martian Manhunter.
And that's my favorite thing is that's the end of the conversation. He just flies away. It's like, wait, I have so many more questions after you said that last thing.
Like, what? You live on Mars?
That would be funny if he turned around and disappeared.
It's like, is it because you're from Mars or do you hunt Martians?
You hunt men? Am I like
hunt men on Mars?
Like at that point, he's just so hungover and whatnot. He's just like, "What? Did I dream that?"
With the dreams I've had lately, I'm probably still asleep.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah. It's like, I think I'll call Lois up. It's like, what? It's like, I don't know, man. That's weird. Like,
Okay. Well, I guess that does it.
What other Mortal Kombat's our next one? I'm excited about that, just because that's the perfect way. I would not go see that in the theater.
Yeah,
I would love to see that.
I will definitely watch that on HBO.
That would be awesome.
I'm looking forward to that.
I hope it's good because it has a very low bar, and like, I hope it's fun, like consistently just fun, and not like just tiresome. You know what I mean? Like,
that first Mortal Kombat movie basically had that one song, and that was what was good about it.
It's so funny, Mr. Sunday Movies. They did like a retro talking about it, and it's so funny just to see the clips of how bad the CG.
Well, they have Christopher Lambert as like an Asian thunder god.
What is he doing in that movie? What character is he playing?
And I was
the god of thunder.
When that movie came out, I was the demo because I bought that game on Memorial Monday. I was like 12 years old. I was the demo to watch that movie, and I was like, "This is disappointing." It's like, it's just like son of a bitch, crummy commercial.
Street Fighter was a better movie than this one.
Yeah, I watched that in the theater too. That was, but with this one, I was like, you kind of want the John Wick, like John Wick, the first one. It's interesting. People get into the other ones like, well, the mythology of the continent. I was like, that's all great. We've expanded this, but the first one was great because this is just dumb and fun. Like, this is just stupid and like great action, and it's very simple. We're not complicating anything here, and it's like lean and mean. If you get out without embarrassing yourselves, that can be great. This would hopefully this can be really bad and funny. And
it just looks like gory fun, to be honest.
Yeah,
and that's
he made a knife. He throws a knife blade out of the blood. I was thinking that clip was like, that's amazing. That's what I want to see more of. Oh yeah, the first Mortal Kombat is so creepy because the weird Goro too. The animatronic Goro is so freaky. He's like creepy,
and he just kicks him in the nuts.
Yeah,
because he couldn't do it. It was like a real puppet, which I appreciate.
I'm waiting for this one because there's not like the main character in the movie, and they've always put him forward is Johnny Cage, right? I'm waiting for this one. This character in this one's not Johnny Cage; it's another guy.
Is he though?
I'm waiting for the end of the movie where they're like, well, you know, you survive that, you become a star, you can be a martial arts star. He's like, they call me, and he puts sunglasses on like Johnny Cage. I was like, that would be amazing.
My real name is Robin.
Yeah. It's like, you need to pick a new name now. People are going to want you. It's like, yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah, my name's Robin. It's like,
my legal name is Robin. It's like, well, you can't use that as your superhero. You know, right?
It's like, that wouldn't work at all. My name's Nightwing. It's like, that's a weird name.
That felt more like an FU to the fans.
Robin Nightwing. I would love it if his legal name was actually Robin Nightwing.
He's like, well, that won't work. I don't think.
That's what I'm going to tell people from now on. They call me Robin Nightwing.
Yeah, that's goofy. It's goofy.
Cool. All right. Well, that does it, I think.
Mortal Kombat.
For another instance of TVA My Dinner.
Dun, dun, dun,
Plus
dun,
bonus
dun.
track.
That might be the next one. It might be Mortal Kombat when we do it. It's only like a week away.
Do it.
We have it.
Like 10 days away.
You always want to put out new content. You have to stop talking about things other than Zack Snyder and Star Wars.
Yeah, it feels refreshing.
Working into.
Marvel's going to be around forever. The Loki trailer came out. That was good. So I'm excited.
Loki trailer looks fun.
I really enjoy it. Like, I've seen you literally stab people in the back like 50 times.
I like that one because it looks like it's going to be another goony, weird one.
Well, it looks like it's going to be like a wild one.
Like WandaVision. Yeah. Like it's going to explore stuff you probably couldn't do in a movie. Like Falcon and Winter Soldier could have been a movie if you just cut it down because it's the same kind of formula. And I like it. But it's not weird on the level of like WandaVision or Loki. So I'm looking forward to that. They're
more challenging, just real quick. The Falcon Soldier, on premise, the Wanda and Loki are like, this is a cool idea. You couldn't do it in a movie, but people probably want to see it. Problem with Falcon Soldier, it has to be so exceptional because like this could be a movie, but it might be a movie nobody went and saw. So you need to make it exceptional above, like, you know, like that's like the second tier. But yeah, Loki looks crazy, I think.
Yeah, I think it'll be
Loki variants through time or whatever. Is like a female Loki.
Loki combat.
There's a moment where he's like plays that guy, that DB Cooper, you know, that mystery explorer story, like that guy who boarded the plane. That's what he does in that. You notice that he's like dressed like that, and he says he has the money, and he jumps out of the thing, really? And then the Bifrost gets him. So it's like they're saying that in time.
That's where he went.
He was DB Cooper.
Isn't that awesome?
On the way and
it's got to be what it is. It looks like he's dressed like.
Well, that's funny.
So,
well, I'm excited.
It'll be fun.
We got a lot of good stuff coming up. I'm excited for it all.
That's Sean's excited face, everyone.
Jeez.
Yeah. Oh, this is exciting. It's 9:30 our time, so this is excited as I get.
Like 11:30 in the morning. Time difference got me starting at 9 a.m.
You're in the
I'm
future.
looking forward to breakfast.
It's still Wednesday. It's still Thursday here.
Yeah, it's still Thursday here on our side of the world.
I can tell you Friday is lovely and sunny. No apocalypses as yet.
It's like you're at the edge of tomorrow.
Yeah. Recording here from your future.
Cool. All right, guys. Well,
like and subscribe. Ding the bell.
Like and subscribe. Yeah.
Smash that.
Whatever. Wait, click that or click that.
It really helps the channel out if you get the bell.
Get to get that engagement. Like it.
It really helps that you've actually watched to the end. Thanks for that. Thanks for being here. We love you.
I guess we should have said that at the beginning because that probably helps more than anything. It's just to watch the whole video.
Yeah.
And
we promise we're funny all the way through. We've got interesting things to say.
Yeah, I cut interesting stuff out all the time.
This is being digested by some advanced AI in the future. Just going through all the video content of humanity. We're just in the pile.
Yeah. I'm not sure if this is going to put us on the safe side or if they're like, no, humanity must go.
Yeah, I don't know, man. They talk about that movie they hate a lot. They talk about BBS one more time as aliens, and they're just watching this thing.
Future AI just comes in and says, do you have an opinion about Zack Snyder, and would you like to hear mine? This is based on my analysis. This is what humans talk about most of the time.
Yeah. So apparently the culture was based on Star Wars and Zack Snyder, a great man, a hero named Zack Snyder.
I have a strong opinion one way or the other about Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. I can't tell you what it is. It's just strong.
All right. Well, cool. Well, thanks. So yeah, do like and subscribe. Check us out. We're on TV at My Dinner is on Facebook, so you can check us out there. We are also on Twitter, so you can check us out there. Go to tvatmydinner.com for more of our stuff. And you are on the Marvel Age Star Wars channel already, so we'll have some more Marvel Age Star Wars content coming your way on the same channel.
Doinkus on Dweebler.
Doinkus on the Dweebler, as always.
Doinkus on Dweebler.
Yeah. Hit that button.
Doink that.
Doink that dweeb. What app is this for? I don't have that on. I'm on Apple TV.
Oh my god.
Right. We've outlived many apps.
All right.
So we'll see you next time. Until then, my name is Sean.
My name's Andrew.
And I'm Lynn.
And thank you.
And I do jazz hands.
Yeah, click all these things.
There's our thumbnail.
Yeah, it's like freeze.